Hi Magic Makers, welcome to your upper body with weights workout for October. I'm really excited to do a new structure with you for this workout. So I'm going to demo the movements first, show you some modifications if you need them, and then I'm going to do one round with you. So we're going to jump into it, but before we do, I want to give you your mantra for this workout. So it is, when I make time for myself, I show up as my best in the world. So when I make time for myself, I show up as my best in the world. So basically we show up as our best for our spouses, for our kids, for the work we do, in the way that we treat the people in the grocery line or in driving and there's tons of traffic. We come with ourselves that is our best when we can make some time for ourselves to either work out like you're doing right now, to meditate, to just go for a walk, to take some time to make some healthy food, to tell your kids, hey, I need some time to be alone for 5 minutes, watch the show or whatever. That allows you to be your best self in the world. So just think about that and just maybe express some gratitude for yourself today that you are taking that time by doing this workout. All right, let's get going. We're gonna do 5 exercises. The goal will be to do 5 rounds of these 5 exercises, taking rest when you need to, preferably if you can at the bottom of the round. So that means when you finish the 5 exercises of each round, that you rest for a brief bit or as much as you need until you do the next round. You can rest between exercises too if you need to, but ideally try and push hard, rest at the end of the round, and then keep going. Okay, so 5 rounds. We're gonna need heavy dumbbells for you, and then maybe some moderate dumbbells if you need to default to those. So ideally you wanna stick heavy and then default only when you need to. We're gonna be doing 8 to 10 rounds of each movement, except for the mountain climbers. We're gonna do a few extras of those. So the 8 to 10 gives you that range of some flexibility. So you want to try and get to 10 if you can, but maybe as you progress through the rounds, you can only get 8 really quality ones using heavier weight, then just do those 8. Just pay attention to if you're really being honest with yourself or selling yourself short. All right, so the first movement will be a bent over row and fly. So I'm going to grab my heavy weights. I'm going to come to standing with my feet slightly apart. So about one palm or fist that you could put in between your feet. I'm going to sit my glutes back, slight bend in those knees, but my knees are over my ankles. They're not coming forward. Low back is long here. So the more you bend over, the harder this will be. So if you need to make it a little easier, stay more upright. So the movement will be 1 rep is 1 row and 1 fly. So on the row, you want to really squeeze the elbows up. Get those lats, the mid-back engaged, bring it back down, leave with the elbows slightly bent, bringing the weights up to shoulder height. So again, row and fly. And the key here is to really bring the weight in the heels, keep the core nice and engaged, slight tug in that pelvis to keep the low back long. And then some modifications would be to lower the weight if you need to, or to even do these seated. If that feels like it's hurting your back at all, come into a chair and just sit down, bring the chest slightly forward, row, and fly from there. So 1 row and fly equals 1 rep, and you're going to do 8 to 10 of those. Next one will be snatches. My favorite word ever, or favorite exercise word ever. Such a funny little name. So how you do this is pretty dynamic. So the way this works, I'm going to show you without the weight first. Just the movement, and then I'll break it down. So I'm going to do a slight squat, shrug it up, and push it overhead. All right? Other hand is not going on my thigh. You can even set it behind your back so that you're not tempted to cheat. So bring the hand behind the back. So on the right side, I would be grabbing the weight. I'll show you with the weight now. Use some force and some dynamic movement to bring it up, and then press it overhead with control. Go back down the way you came. So again, I'm going to use my hips and thighs and core and even come on my tippy toes, shrug my shoulder up, and quickly rotate my elbow underneath the hand, and then press it overhead. So again, I'll show you again. Shrug it up and press. Go back down and press. So the way you can do this a little less kind of a default would be to take out the dynamic movement and do it as a squat, row, and press overhead. So I'll show you that. So we're going to squat down to pick up the weight, stand up, row, and press overhead. And then go back down. Squat down, tap the weight down, stand up, row, so an upright row, rotate the elbow underneath you, and then press overhead. So that's your default. If that dynamic movement's too much, or if you're just getting these, that might be a good place to start the first round or two, and then try more of the dynamic snatch. Another thing you can do is, of course, drop the weight. All right, we're gonna go into the third exercise, so single plank rows. So what that means, just take this side, you're gonna take one weight, you're gonna come into a plank. I'll show you first on the left side so you can see me a bit better. And you're gonna have the right hand planted, and you're just gonna be rowing up on the left side. So I bring the weight slightly back, so that when I pull it up, it hits my ribs and then goes back down. This takes a lot of core strength for stabilization. So I'm gonna show you the full movements. Give it a shot. If it feels like too much pressure on your core, you having transverse abs that are weaker, maybe default to the knees down. I'll show you that next, but I'll show you the movement on the left, and then you would do the same thing on the right side. So we're going for 8 to 10 reps, and same as we do for renegade rows, we're just doing it on one side at a time. So holding it as you row makes this challenging because you're really holding that plank as you do the movement. So I'm doing my best. My hips might move slightly, but you really want to try and keep them. Think of headlights on the front of your hips pointing straight down as you're in the plank. I'll show you the other side. So stabilize, row up and down. All right. And modifications can be for this, to do them with the knees down. So if you realize that you're going into it, it's getting to be too much, you can drop the knees down and do them from here. You still get the core working a bit, but not quite as much of an intensity. What's next? I think we've got triangle push-ups. So I know that had come up on the page. Somebody was asking about those. So what you do is basically make a triangle with your thumbs together and your first fingers together. And then you're going to put that down on the mat. If it's too much, if it's too hard to do them that close together on your wrists or shoulders, just bring them as close together as you can, like this. So there's just a little bit of space. So set up. So it's also called a close grip push-up. And it really targets the triceps and the chest a bit more. So I'm going to come all the way down, chest to the thumbs if I can, and then press up. Make sure your hands aren't way in front. It totally changes it and really hurts the wrist. So try and keep those thumbs right underneath your chest. And then roll all the way straight at the top. So these can be hard to modify. You bring those knees down all the way straight at the top though. Really work on getting depth and going low. So 8 to 10 reps on those triangle push-ups. Again, try and get to 10. If it's too much, stick with 8. It lets you kind of modify for your level. So you got the triangle push-ups, and then we finish with 20 mountain climbers. So you just move the hands to shoulder width, come on the toes, and drive those knees in for 20, counting each time the knee comes in. If you need to, put the hands up on the coffee table or your couch or something that you need to elevate if it's too difficult for you. That would be a default. Okay, so those are the 5 exercises. We're going to do them through one time. So if you feel good to go, you can just go. Stop the video, go get going, work it out on your own for 5 rounds. If you want to see me go through it once, I'll show you one full round right now. All right, so let me grab some water. I've been talking. I'm not used to talking so much on these videos. I'm used to just working with you and talking a little bit. All right, so 8 to 10 bent over rows to flies. So I'm going to show you from the side here. All right, let me check the time, see how long this takes me. All right, let's get going. Here we go. 1 row, 1 fly. Good. Slow it down, especially if you don't have heavy enough weights to really make this super challenging. I'm going to go slow and super controlled. Good, this is 5, halfway there. 6, 8. I know this is a good weight for me because this is getting hard. We have one more. It's hard to keep good form on that last rep. Awesome. Okay, snatches. You move one way to the side. Put one in the middle here. Scoot back so you can see the whole movement. Okay, I'm going to start on my left side just because that's my weaker side. And I'm going to have my right hand behind my back. I'm going to come down, glutes back, and push it up. Good, that's 1, 2. These will get your heart rate up. 3, 4. And these take some practice. You know, why not get the movement at first? That's okay. It might be a little awkward. I think that's 7. Got 8. And 9. I'm going to show you from the side on the next round on the other side. Okay. All right. So a little side shot. Here we go. So I'm really working on trying to get that shrug as I come up. Okay, that's 4. 5, try and go straight into back-to-back reps. 6. Really gets those heart rate up. Good, 8. Good job, you guys. 9. Quick rotation and push up. All right. Single plank rows. So we just need one weight for these. So I'm going to come into my plank and row up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stabilize. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stay on your toes if you can. If you need to rest the knees down to switch, that's really fine. Here we go, other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh. 8, 9, and 10. Hi. All right, triangle push-ups. I don't know if you can hear, hopefully not. My neighbor, it sounds like, just decided to start cutting down a tree. Can hear a chainsaw. Don't they realize I'm filming a workout video? How rude. All right, here we go. Chest to those thumbs, and then all the way straight. Good, 2, 3, 4, core strong. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to move my feet off the mat so it doesn't scrape up my mat. We're going to do mountain climbers. Come on into it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Going to 20. Whew. All right, so that was one round. You're going to repeat that 4 more times, ideally. We're going to try and get to 5 rounds for your complete workout. All right, I think that took me about 4 minutes to do that one round. So it should be about a 20-minute workout when you do all the rounds. Or 25, maybe take some more rest. Okay, you guys, let me know how you like it. And don't forget your mantra for today, that when I make time for myself, I show up as my best in the world. So just think of it as your service to the world and to those around you when you make this time for yourself. All right, I know that got my heart rate up. Hopefully you're feeling it too. Have a good day. Ciao.